We give feedback to them, a lot of what we've seen over the course of the year, what we see happening with the fishery. You know, they do their surveys and they get a picture from their surveys, but their surveys, they really don't tell the whole story, because a lot of those times they're trying to find out how many fish these guys catch, and sometimes small fish, and they don't identify that they're small fish, but put them back. So we kind of give them how big the fish are that we're seeing, really where we're catching them and what we're seeing out there. And they use that information as part of the decision process of what they're going to do in the future, as far as what they're going to stock and how they're going to stock. Okay. And it's worked out pretty well so far. They take what we feed them, plus they also take what they find out from the USGS with the bottom trawls and what they see as far as fish sizes with the survey boat, and they put all that together and come up where they're going to go. And we started this about 4 or 5 years ago, but it's actually become official now that we have this organization. And we have representatives across the whole lake. We have me and Vince Perleone, our West End Lake, professional lake, and then we've got guys from the East End. They divided the lake up into 3 sections: West, Midwest, Central West, Central East, and then East. Okay, and we've got 2 representatives from the lake, professionals. So there's 8 there. Then we have 2 representatives, trip guys. So they're getting that information and their fall fishery and the upcoming spring fishery with steelhead and that, and how everything's working for that. And then there are a couple at-large members, like Joe Yeager is an at-large member, okay, representing more of the recreational folks. So, go ahead.
I understand that one of the results of that is we're going to see a few more kings here in the next year. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes. The result from that is we're going to see about 90,000 more kings going in this year.
Right. And that's based on forage base, health of the forage base.
What they're doing with the forage base now is Brian from the USGS, they are actually putting together a predictive model where they believe the forage base is going to go.
Be there.
Now, 2 years ago, we had a very large recruitment of young of the year alewives, okay? And the recruitment from year 1 to year 2 wasn't as strong as they thought it would be, but now we have a lot more adult alewives in the system, so that the kings don't have to eat as many number-wise, because we get more nutrients from the large ones. Yeah. Right. So that predictive model, they share that with us. There's also going to be a change in brown trout. They're changing strains of brown trout. They're changing to a strain that they believe is going to have a higher survivability rate, grow a little bit bigger. Okay, brown trout over the years of the hatchery, you walk up to one of the ponds and the fish would swim towards you because they know they're going to get fed. Now this new strain, they swim away from you. They're more, scattered when you put them in. One of the problems over the years with brown trout survival is you put them in the lake, they don't go anywhere. This new strain they put in, they're expecting to disperse a lot quicker.
Birds pick them off.
Right, especially the cormorants and that. Yeah. The birds pick them up. They're expecting these fish to disperse quicker, so they're going to hopefully in the long run have a higher survival on them for us.
I was in Wilson last spring, and you could see them. You could walk out on the pier and see them all swimming around.
Yeah.
The birds were enjoying the free dinner.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
I mean, you've been doing this a long time, Bob, as a captain. Let's face it, the 3 of us sitting here, we make our living, right? We support companies, we support families, in this fishery. How should we feel? I mean, what do we feel that the future of that fishery is right now? I mean, how do we feel right now?
Working with this group, we feel pretty positive about it. Things have changed. They cut the stocking back because they were worried about the forage base. They're not going to have a target anymore. It's not going to be, okay, we're going to work up to put in 2 million fish. Okay, they're going to more adaptively manage the lake because of the contribution of wild fish, which in the beginning, years ago, was non-factor because there was no wild reproduction at all. But over the years, with the way that they're managing the water flow at Salmon River at the hatchery, okay, they've got a large number of wild fish. And you can't, from their perspectives, you can't just keep throwing more and more fish, and you're going to get to a point where it's going to be diminishing returns.
Right.
So it's going to be an adaptive management. So depending on size of fish, depending on where they believe the population of the alewives is going to go, the total forage-based size, and plus what we're seeing using all of those factors, it may go up 2,000 one year or 200,000 one year, and it may drop 150,000 the next year, depending where the predictive models are. But doing that, they're going to try and stabilize it. But so long range, I think they're onto a good thing, and I think the fishery is going to be a lot healthier.
Okay. I took a look at the minutes from your last meeting you guys had in January.
Okay.
And this is something I think that, you guys put a lot of time. There's people, you guys have a meeting. It's not like we're going to go on Zoom.
No.
You all get together. You all sit down in a room together and talk this over. So it's a big time commitment to be on this committee and to be a part of this. And I'm just interested in seeing what that room is like. Now, I know sometimes you talk to captains and they don't have a lot of good things to say about whatever their managing agency is, whether it's in Michigan or wherever. You'll talk to guys and like, yeah, they're dumb. Well, you guys are sitting down and you're cooperating. You guys are working together. Just tell us a little bit about kind of what the temperature in that room is when you're all together like that.
Well, I'll tell you, we've got on a better basis as far as understanding what they're doing and them understanding what our needs are. Okay, and it's come down quite a bit from where the old days where everybody's yelling out in the audience.
Hang them up.
The temperature's real even. They're very receptive to what we're saying, and we don't hold any back. We don't lie to them. We tell them point blank what we think's going on out there and what we think they're doing right and doing wrong. They may not agree with us, and then they'll give us reasons why they're doing it. But the cooperation there is really, really smooth things out as far as the communication.
People are listening to each other.
And then part of our responsibility is like what I'm doing here, telling people, spreading the word what the DEC is doing and why they're doing it.
Right.
Okay. In the past, the DEC say, okay, we're going to cut stocking by 200,000. And people say, well, why are you doing it? And I'm seeing fish all over the place, seeing bait all over the place. Now we got a better basis of where their science is taking.
One of the things that's kind of scared me over the last few years has been, and Bob, because you talk to these guys, you talk to a fisheries biologist, let's face it, these guys aren't getting rich to us, right?
No.
These guys, they fisheries biology because they love it. They love the fish. They care about the resource, the whole deal. And one of the things that's frankly scared me over the last few years is like, so you go to those meetings and these guys, they're trying to run them out to the stake, and it's like, wait a second, time out here, guys. Let's not, if that's how we're going to treat those people, right? Why on earth would you want to do that as a job? So I think that, it's good that we're taking, we need to get the input and everything else, but, they're professional. This is what they do, and they're not doing it for the money. I can tell you that.
No, there's no doubt about that. And then the other thing from their perspective, they are really getting the understanding. We know what we're talking about. Yeah. We're not just a bunch of
you guys have been doing it a long time, and you're spending a lot of hours out there.
And we research a lot of what they're saying, so we understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. Over the years, I've read a lot of papers, boring papers about why they're studying fish this way, why they're changing that way. So we got the lamprey problem everybody knows about right now. Why did it happen? How long is it going to be? Are we going to be involved with it? What are they doing now to try to control it? So
and that's super interesting. We did a show on that. I think it was last year, and people really, really got into it. And it's a big deal. And when you get out there and you bring in a fish that's got one stuck, you want to know more about it. So
right.
It's an interesting.
Myself just touched base on. I didn't know lamprey are basically like salmon. Mm-hmm. They come out of the tributary. They live for a year, only 1 year as an adult. They go back up, spawn, and they die. Yep. You just thought that they spawned and they come back out. Right. How many people didn't know that? Right. So from them you learn a lot of that stuff.
So one of the things, you're a representative, so you go in and you're meeting with the DEC folks and we talked a little bit about Steve Hurst. We had him on the show a few years ago. Really, really good guy. Mm-hmm. We had Corey Goldsworthy on yesterday from Minnesota. Corey's a big fisherman as well. It's fun to talk to those guys. But what's it like for you going out, walking out of that room? You go back to your harbor, your marina, and everybody wants to know kind of what's going on. So what's that like when you get to go out and talk to the captains about what you're talking about?
Well, a lot of times the first thing that happens is people say, well, they're doing this and they shouldn't be doing that. Okay? They shouldn't be cutting back on stock, but the guys don't understand why. Okay, so for me, it's trying to bring the temperature of that person down and then explain to him why they're doing it. And most of the time, once they get an explanation that clears the air, the guys walk away not happy about it, but at least understand.
Did you ever think you'd hear your name as Bob Songin, the mediator? Did you ever think that was even humanly possible?
No, not in a million years. Not in a million years, but yeah. So it's been a real good experience. Now I'm getting older. I'm pretty mature in my career, So we're starting to Rob
Get that next
Westcott's
guys,
we're starting to get some new guys involved with this. Yeah. And one of the things I do with the DEC is I try to identify the younger guys coming up.
That's great.
Because I'm not going to be doing it forever. I'm 67 years old. I mean, if I fish another 5-10 years,
you got 20 years.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we're bringing the new blood in because you can't keep listening to us. The ideas don't become fresh after a while. Even though you're trying to bring.
You're sounding pretty progressive in your old age, Bob. I mean, this isn't.
Yeah. They can still hear me yelling from the road next to me.
No, I mean, it honestly, it sounds like a model program. I mean, really, it sounds like the way that it should be for a lot of fisheries in a lot of states. It really does.
Steve Hurst, the fisheries manager, is very, very open as far as taking our input. Probably, I'm not saying that the ones in the past were bad, but he's a little bit more open than they have been. And then, of course, the top man is the man that's going to drive it, too, you know. And we're hoping that he's set up a process here that's going to continue on when he moves on. Everybody moves on. What always happens is the best guys come in, and they work, and once they get things all set up, then they're gone, they're retiring, and then you got to worry about what the new guy coming in is going to do. Now we're kind of actually seeing the people that are following Steve.
There's a plan. There's a succession plan there. Yeah.
Right. And we hope that this is going to keep on keeping. And like me trying to get the younger guys in, we're working on a succession plan for us older guys when we disappear from it, So that's...
You're looking after the resource, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah,
I love the resource. Always have.
Yeah.
When I was a little kid, I used to beg my father to take me fishing, and I always dropped at catching that monster fish out. And when I was going fishing, and all I caught was little bluegill. Now you wake up in the morning, you can go out and catch the monster fish, and we want to keep that going. Right. Get more young kids into the resource, into utilizing the resource.
So your charter is real exciting charter,
right?
Out of Wilson,
Oak Orchard. I fish Oak Orchard, Wilson only in May.
Yeah, I ran into you last year, so that's why I thought you were Wilson. But normally out of Oak Orchard,
right?
Okay. Right. And one of the things that you do, we've been talking about technology a lot here already today, and talking about young people and old people and what we all do. You're on the Facebooks all the time, and you're giving a report all the time, and it's a really great report. So
appreciate
tell
that.
people about how that comes to be.
He was kind of retiring out of the business. Him and his wife were both very computer literate at the time, so I worked with them to start up what was called At the Oak. Okay, and that's what the podcast is now. And we would feed information to them, and they would actually take the time to post it. Well, as time went on, and we lost Joe and Shirley, I took that over 100%. And then once the social media came on, it became easy. It was easier to, at the end of the day, flip it on and then describe what I'm catching. I can fish on, I can show them. Right. Okay, so, and the reason behind it always for me has been the fact you want people to come up and enjoy the resource. The guy that comes up to fish one day and doesn't know where to start, so where's he start? He starts 100 foot of water. There may not be no fish till he gets to 400 foot of water. Right. Okay, so at least, and we all know it changes every day, but at least it gives people a starting point. Okay, and the best publicity for Oak Orchard or whatever harbor it might be is people come up and catch fish. When they go home, they're going to go home and say, I went up there, I got information, we had a great time. I didn't catch as many fish as the captains did, or I may have beat some of the captains, okay? But at least he knew where to start, and now when he goes home, he says, Oak Orchard's a pretty good place to go. Why don't you go there? Yeah. So some guys want to go salmon fishing for their whole life or for whatever amount of time. They don't have a boat. They're going to call up a captain. Okay, or they're going to call up. Now they're going to call up a place for lodging. So it promoted the whole area and helped everybody, business-wise, the tackle shops, the gas stations, the lodging places, the captains, and that. So that's really the real reason behind it. So
kind of another example of good things happen when people talk to each other, right?
Yeah, communication has had such an impact on success.
Absolutely.
Of this fishery.
Yeah. Well, that's what this show is about.
Right.
I mean, that's what makes this show unique.
Right.
I mean, that's like you said, the seminar rooms are full. I mean, it's
Yeah.
One of the other cool things, real quick here, we got about a minute left.
Okay.
But you do this report from the helm, so it's not like this is what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Like you're coming in and saying, "Hey, here's what happened right now." So we're talking about real time information.
Yeah. And I always get they always screw with me that my hair's all messed up at the end of the day. But yeah, a lot of times we're doing it from the helm. You know?
Right. So it's Real Excitement Charters, and you can find it on Facebook, Bob. Is there another way for people to get a hold of you that want to reach out to you?
They can call me if they want. It's 585-733-5829. Get me on Facebook or email me. My webpage is realexcitement.com, real easy. My address is on there. I get emails all the time and text messages, guys asking me what's going on.
Very good.
So I never turn them away as long as I see them.
Awesome. Thanks.
Hey, it was a pleasure talking to you guys.
Appreciate it.